Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a topic Hollywood just loves to glamorize: the end of days. We've all seen those dramatic, sometimes inspiring scenes, the lone hero, those super quick recovery, those cities that are somehow abandoned but weirdly clean. It almost makes you think, could I actually survive that? But here's the thing we're exploring today: how profoundly different the scientific reality is from those big blockbuster fantasies. It's Wednesday, July 16, 2025, 7:45 a.m. EDT, and honestly, those gripping movie stories, they aren't just a bit inaccurate. They're dangerously off base.
Yeah, dangerously is the right word. And what's really striking is how these movie myths, they kind of build this comforting illusion, But the actual science, it points to something far more complex, much more gradual, and frankly, utterly terrifying, way beyond anything on screen.
That's a really powerful way to put it. A comforting illusion versus terrifying reality. So if Hollywood's got us looking in completely the wrong direction, our mission today is to sort of dismantle those movie ideas and really confront the harsh, maybe sobering truth of what a real end of days might actually look like.
Exactly. We want to try and arm you with some accurate insights, get past the fantasy, and help you understand what, real preparation might actually mean. It's about facing what truly matters when everything falls apart, and maybe figuring out what actually offers resilience.
And, speaking of incredible insights and that kind of factual clarity, this deep dive is powered by the amazing information you can always find over at Mind Expansion Daily. Seriously, if you're looking for more great content just like this, make sure you visit Mind Expansion Daily. And hey, like and subscribe to their stuff for regular reality checks and these kinds of insightful deep dives. Definitely worth it. Okay, so let's dive in. Myth number 1, the clean, empty world. We see it, right? Like in I Am Legend, cities are strangely pristine, really quiet, and somehow the stores are perfectly stocked. Just waiting for Will Smith to pop in for supplies. It seems almost calm.
Calm, right. And that's exactly where the dangerous thinking starts. The brutal reality. It's immediate catastrophic breakdown, not some peaceful emptying out. Think panic buying. Shelves stripped bare in hours, literally hours. Power grids gone almost instantly. And here's the kicker, the really grim part. Those perishables, they don't just sit there looking pretty, they rot fast, filling the air with just this unimaginable stench of decay. Ugh. Okay, so not pristine. Definitely not pristine.
Not even close. And beyond just the smell, the really key thing is how fast basic necessities turn deadly. Water, for example. Without treatment plants running, rivers basically become massive breeding grounds for cholera. It happens really quickly. The World Health Organization, looking at data for 2025, predicted something horrifying. Like 50% of all water sources post-collapse would become unsafe. Half of them.
50%. Wow.
Yeah. So forget a quiet haven you can just wander through. It's noisy, festering chaos, a biological nightmare, really.
Okay, that definitely shatters that serene movie image completely. And speaking of lone figures wandering desolate landscapes, let's tackle myth number 2. The lone wolf hero. Every action movie has one, right? The Mad Max type. Rugged, independent, needs nobody. Just give him a cool car and maybe a shotgun.
Yes. The lone wolf. The thing is, research totally flips that idea on its head. The Journal of Disaster Studies, back in 2024, basically showed that the best survival tool isn't a weapon or some fancy skill. It's a social network, community. Being alone in a real collapse, it's pretty much a death sentence. I mean, we are fundamentally social creatures, wired for cooperation, especially for survival.
So what, you're saying one person can't just handle it all? Guarding, getting food, treating injuries?
Think about it. How could they? Guard 24/7. Treat a serious infection alone. Defend against, say, multiple desperate people. Even something simple like a bad flu or a nasty cut could easily kill you if you're isolated.
Okay, so that whole idea of just going off-grid by yourself, fundamentally flawed.
Totally flawed. That 2024 study was crystal clear. Survivors band together. It's collective effort, pooling resources and skills, not lone bravery that makes the difference. You need organizers, people who know medicine, farmers. It's the diverse skills within a group that builds resilience, not one hero with a gun. It's kind of the inconvenient truth, isn't it? Our deep need for community becomes our absolute lifeline. Makes the lone wolf not just unlikely, but, well, suicidal.
Right, so relying on that solo survival fantasy is a massive mistake.
Okay.
Which brings us nicely to myth number 3. The main event is all that matters. Like in Armageddon or Deep Impact. The asteroid hits or the bomb drops and that's it. The big climax. Roll credits. Implying, recovery's next. We made it. Hooray.
Yeah, hooray. Except the movies conveniently skip the really terrifying part. The critical question they never answer is, what happens after. The sobering reality is that the real apocalypse, the true terror, is the aftermath. Take the idea of a nuclear winter. Huge firestorms could throw massive amounts of soot way up into the atmosphere. And nature climate change projected in 2025 that this could drop global temperatures by, get this, 7 to 8 degrees Celsius.
7 to 8 degrees globally. That's huge. Colder than the Ice Age?
Colder than the last ice age, exactly. So it's not just the initial blast, it's a fundamental long-term shift in the planet's climate.
Okay, wow.
And it gets worse, that chilling climate shift. It leads to something even more horrifying. The 2025 UN Food Security Report estimated that the resulting crop failures, well, they could kill maybe 5 billion people through famine after the initial event.
5 billion from starvation.
5 billion dead from starvation after the bombs. Let that sink in. This isn't some quick finale movie scene. We're talking about maybe a decade or longer of widespread, agonizing starvation across much of the planet. It really makes you question what survival even means when the consequences just keep unfolding on that kind of scale.
That's incredibly chilling. The Big Bang is really just the start of a much longer, much worse struggle. And that struggle would look nothing like we imagine, especially with tech. Which is myth number 4. We'll just keep all our tech.
Yeah.
In movies, characters always seem to have working cars, walkie-talkies, generators. Maybe their phones are dead, but other stuff just works.
Right. It's almost comical how impractical that is. Think about an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse. Just one high-altitude nuclear detonation could send out this massive energy burst that, well, it basically fries electronic circuits across entire continents. IE Spectrum highlighted this back in 2024. Most modern tech. Useless. In an instant.
So not just my phone, but my car's computer, the power grid, anything with a circuit board could just stop working.
Pretty much, yeah. And look, even without an EMP, think about societal collapse itself. The complex global systems we rely on for, say, refining oil, manufacturing spare parts, maintaining the power grid, they just cease to exist. Your car won't run without gas you can't get, parts break, and there are no replacements. Your walkie-talkie needs batteries. Good luck finding those. The real takeaway here: practical physical skills become infinitely more valuable than gadgets. Things like purifying water, preserving food, basic first aid, maybe simple repairs. In that kind of skill-scarce world, honestly, a library card probably outlasts a smartphone.
Ditch the charger, grab a book on canning. Okay, got it. Myth number 5 then. Another comforting lie Hollywood loves. Quick recovery is possible. So often movies end with these uplifting scenes of rapid rebuilding. New villages just spring up from the rubble, you know? A new dawn rising in just weeks or months. Gives you hope, doesn't it?
It does give you hope, but it's a deeply false hope, a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Systemic collapse isn't like cleaning up after a storm. It doesn't just clear up quickly. There was a Rand Corporation study in 2025 that gave a really stark time frame. They estimated 20 to 30 years.
20 to 30 years.
Just to restore basic infrastructure after something like a major nuclear event. And that's assuming you even have the resources and the people left to do it.
Wow. 2 or 3 decades. That's not a quick montage. That's generations of really grim hard work. What else slows it down?
Well, beyond just rebuilding things, you've got huge biological hurdles. Lancet talked about this in 2025, the risk of massive disease outbreaks. Imagine old diseases, things we thought were gone, like smallpox maybe, potentially re-emerging from thawing permafrost as the climate changes.
Oh, great. Zombie viruses, too.
Potentially. The key insight is that real resilience. Bouncing back from that level of devastation, it demands decades of grueling, multifaceted effort across the board. Not just a few inspiring days set to music. The sheer scale of the challenge it's immense.
So putting this all together, the fast, dramatic, relatively clean end we see in movies, it's nothing like the real potential threats. Because beyond those sudden disasters, there's maybe an even scarier threat, right? Something slower.
Yeah, absolutely. A really crucial piece to understand is that the biggest threat might not be a single boom instantaneous event. It could be a slow, silent unraveling of the systems we depend on. I mean, look at climate change happening right now. NASA's 2025 data suggests rising seas could displace maybe 200 million people by 2030 alone.
200 million.
Yeah, just think about the incredible strain that puts on resources, on social structures, even without some other global catastrophe hitting.
That's a huge number of displaced people even before any main event. And that kind of pressure must make other problems worse.
Exactly. You couple that with things like soil degradation. The FAO reported in 2025 that could cut global food yields by 30%. That just ramps up the risk of famine, even without a nuclear winter scenario. And then there's the almost inevitable social breakdown. History shows us this pattern. The Journal of Conflict Resolution in 2024 looked at this collapse is consistently followed by severe social fragmentation, widespread looting, warlordism, that kind of thing. So the real insight here might be that this creeping doom, this slow systemic breakdown, is potentially even more terrifying in its implications than any single blockbuster plot. It's
Yeah.
less of a sudden bang, more of a long, suffocating whisper.
Wow. Okay, so when we really peel back Hollywood's glossy version, the reality of an Armageddon scenario isn't quick or dramatic or clean. It's this really grim picture, isn't it? Decaying, disease-ridden cities. A world where community isn't just nice, it's essential for survival. Famine, useless tech, and recovery taking decades, if it happens at all.
It's a biological unraveling, a climatic one, a social one. A slow-motion catastrophe that's just far more chilling than any monster or alien invasion you can script. It seems the most terrifying scenarios are often the quietest, the ones that drag on, the ones that fundamentally challenge our ideas about what it even means to survive.
It really forces you to rethink everything, doesn't it? Everything you thought you knew about the end. And that kind of leads us to our final provocative thought for you listening. Understanding these harsh realities, it seems crucial for any kind of true preparation or resilience. So thinking about this, what skills might you actually need? What does community really mean to you now after hearing all this? We would genuinely love to hear what you think. Which of these myths surprised you the most? Or what insights really hit home? Definitely leave a comment. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our summary today. And please remember, for more deep dives into crucial topics that really cut through the noise, find and support Mind Expansion Daily. Like their content, subscribe. You won't regret it. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking that reality check.